What's up, guys? We're live A to Z. Rod Stanley, Rodzilla with Oyanga Ali. What's up, my guy? What's going on this fine
Hey,
Sunday morning?
hey, man, just loving life. I'm guessing. That's how I was feeling right now.
Okay, love and
What
life,
it on,
man.
people?
That's a beautiful thing. Love life, man. Life's beautiful. A lot going on these days, as usual.
Yeah,
What's new in
man.
Vegas, man? You know, we
What's
trying
new
to
in
break up in the
Vegas?
spring here, huh? Yeah, what's new in Vegas?
Man, ain't
Trying
nothing
to
new in Vegas. Vegas, the same old Sin City it has always been, man.
digging in everybody's pockets, getting the money,
Yeah, that's pretty much. Oh yeah, we got some
especially
little
with
what's that that Denzel called those people? We got some yum yums here, some little young
yum yum.
people. Yeah,
Yum
bring
yums. I
them
don't know about yum yums.
Yeah, it was off of a movie, so I don't know
Oh,
how true
okay.
that saying is, but they got some. The new gang members are coming out here now.
Gang members.
Yeah, they
Okay,
trying to.
called yum yums.
No, no, that's not what they're called. They're like Crips and Bloods and shit.
Oh, okay.
But they're coming out here trying to be gang bangers. We don't
Oh,
have bangers in Vegas. You know what I mean?
okay.
Not like that. Not like the LA type of gang bangers or the Chicago type of gang bangers. We don't have that here. And it seems as if they're trying to get started here. You know,
That's
yeah,
wild, man. When you talking about
it,
yum yum, I was running around this morning singing that song. Girl, you got that yummy yum. I don't know who sings it, but you heard that song, bro? Girl, you
I
got that
no,
yummy yum. I don't know who sings it, but it was just going through my head. Now you
it
talking
might
about
be
yum yum.
Drake.
So that sounds like some shit. That sounds like some shit he'd be saying. Man,
I don't,
so yeah, man. Breaking in the spring up here. Looking at colleges yesterday for the kid. You know, it's
oh,
that
cool.
time of year. I know you went through that last year.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, and the year before too, right? Yeah, you got
Uh,
two of them.
well, once they get into college, if they decide to change, you still looking into it. Still looking into it. Nolly and Thaddeus both changing schools right now.
Oh, are they
So
really? Where they headed to?
Nolly is trying to like you. If you know anything about UNLV, they got their nursing program. You have to get accepted
Yeah,
into the nursing program. So she wasn't accepted, even though her grades was awesome.
it's just super
Yeah,
competitive, right? Yeah.
it's super competitive, and you have to know certain people and whatever. So she's applying for other colleges so that she can
Uh,
jump into their see if she is able to jump straight into their nursing program. So other than
are they
that, uh,
out of state? I assume.
well, we're military, so oh, you talking about is she gonna have to leave to go? No, no,
Oh, okay. So there
no.
are other nursing programs. Okay, got it.
Yeah, there's other nursing programs here. And Thaddeus is going to do an engineering program in Utah, so he's getting ready to go up to Utah. I don't
Okay,
know if it's Utah State or Utah University or whatever the hell, but it's
okay.
one of them.
Yeah,
It's one of them schools.
yeah, man. I hear you, bro. That's exciting for them, man. A new chapter, new endeavors in life. I mean, Jared, as you know, a basketball player, so it's a whole different animal trying to get recruited and film and all that stuff. So that's been different. Trying
Yeah.
to. So he's been in contact with a few colleges up in Washington.
Oh, that's cool.
Trying to figure out what level. Most likely, he's going to end up at a D2 level, possibly D1. We'll see what happens. So D2
Yeah,
is
yeah,
great.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, it is.
for sure, man. He just got named top. They just released the top 6A guys yesterday for the state, so he's in that top. Probably top 12 players in the state out of 500. That's a
Yeah,
solid number.
that's
So
awesome. That's awesome.
yeah,
Congratulations.
yeah, man. So we'll
Congratulations.
see what's what, man. There's a lot of unknowns with basketball scholarships, just because you just gotta wait it out with all the kids. I don't know. Do you follow out this transfer portal and all that stuff with
I don't do
basketball?
none
No
of that.
sports.
I
Oh,
don't do
okay.
none of that.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll spare the details on that because it's a lot.
Oh
It's a
well, go
lot.
ahead. Other people might be wanting to hear that.
Well, after COVID, a lot of kids are kind of getting empowered to take their career in their own hands is the way I see it. So a lot of these high school athletes, or once they get into college, they're only staying with these major schools, even the D1 scholarships for 1 year, and they enter the transfer portal in hopes of getting a better deal. And when that happens, a lot of time they get this NIL money, this name, image, and likeness deals on top of it. So so now they can kind of create their own path, and also monetize their own name, image, and likeness, which I think puts the power in the players' hands. Of course, the schools don't like it, but the landscape now is, hey, come, let us rent you for a year. Let's get you better and help you move to wherever it is you really want to go. So that's kind of what he's looking at. Where can he go? That's going to help develop him. If it ends up being D2, that could help him get to the D1. And that's the sales pitch that a lot of the schools are using now. Yeah, come play with us for a year, and if you want to go D1, we're going to develop you. So that's a different landscape than trying to land somewhere for 4 years. Or so just a lot to navigate with that. But it's fun. It's interesting, exciting times.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, wishing you great on that. Exciting times, even during the times of politics. Oh my God, this stuff it sucks.
That adds another layer to all of it, right? Just another layer to all of it, because the economics involved with trying to plan, working on planning a future with so many unknowns up in the air about many things. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. I remember when things were so nice, when we didn't have to think about, or I didn't even think about politics at all. It was just like, okay, I'm living through life. Okay, he's the president. We're going here. We're doing this. This is what I'm going to do. Now it's like I've got to get all deep involved, or not deep involved, but involved mentally about what's going on with these people, because that's what I hear all the time, or what I see on the television or internet. So it's just like, dude, I'm sick and tired of this. And then I'm listening to people, because I have my own opinions. Everybody has their own opinions and everything. But then the fact that one of the points that I was getting hit with, and it was more than like, I thought it was just like maybe one or two people, but when I went to work yesterday, I got bombarded with the same freaking thing, and I'm like, oh my God, you guys fucking, in my head,
politics.
I'm like, oh, yeah, man, at work.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And but I'm like, so we sitting there talking, and they're talking about how they hate Trump and all these policies that he's doing, and this, and that, and how they're not going to support whatever, right? So I'm like, okay, if you got a team, like, we're Americans, we're not black, we're not white, we're not this, we're not that, or we are, but that's sub-level when you become an American. You're American. We're on the team America, right? So I'm like, okay, you're sitting here listening to if you have a boss, and I was talking about our boss Joe. I said, if Joe wants to make a change inside with us, and he's like, this is what I need, this is the outcome we're going to have, but there's going to be some struggles in the front, and then y'all don't want to go through the struggles. Half of y'all don't want to go through the struggles, right? And so y'all not going to do what he's telling you to do. You're going to cause havoc and everything. Is our section going to prosper? They're all like, no. I was like, it's the same way if you have a team leader, a coach, or a captain on a team. If the captain is telling the team to go do this, but everybody is on the inside of the team infighting, I don't want to do that. I want to run the 1-3-1. No, let's run the 2-3-2. Or 2-3, and let's do this and let's do this. And even though some people are out there starting the 1-3-1, and the other two players are like, nah, we doing it 2-3. Is the team going to win? No, the team's not going to win.
Team's gonna win.
And I'm like, so President, what's his name? I was going to call him President Bush. President Trump.
Yeah.
I was like, President Trump is our team leader. We got all these Americans right now fighting and arguing against something that they already seen. The majority of America has already chose this fucker, right? They have chosen it. It shows because the different states that were blue turned red. They rather take his policy, but now because he won, follow what he says. Just follow it. Stop arguing, because now we look bad, and we're at war right now. We're at a trade war, and the trade wars can destroy a country. And whatever.
Well, I mean,
well, go ahead.
Yeah, I hear you, bro. That's a wild situation, and it's a weird thing that you frame it like a team, because like you say, the country's kind of divided. Half the people kind of wanted Trump, half didn't, right? And that's kind of sets the stage for the presidency, from day one. Day one, half the people with him, half weren't, and that number kind of
let's change that number from half to like 3/4 and a quarter.
3/4 and a quarter were with him.
3/4 was with him. A quarter was out, just because of the major changes that we've seen from red to blue.
Absolutely. And then as he's been in, you see that number start to slide.
Right.
It goes back and forth. More people are against now, so it almost sets up like, is it really a team starting out with different viewpoints from the beginning? Like a let's say we we Oklahoma Sooners, and we want to win a football game. We all want to win the game.
Right.
And we all want to win the game, but I don't know if Trump is really the team leader per se, because I just don't think his agenda is the same as ours, as the people who are on the team. So that's why I think it's interesting that you frame it like a team.
because it is the matter. As a matter of fact, it is a team, because we're all Americans. If China come over here and start fighting us, they're fighting all of us. They're not just going to say, okay, we're going to fight everybody but Texas or everybody but the Midwest. If anybody comes over here and fights us, they're fighting all of us. If they hit economic sanctions on America, guess what? That's all of America. That's not pieces of America. We're all in this together, right? Sure. So and then when what you was talking about sliding back and forth, when you're talking about the sliding back and forth part, you still got to add this one thing in there. You got to add the one thing in there, because you do have some Republicans, right, saying, "Oh, wait a minute, hold on, Donald, you're fucked up," right? You got them that are doing that.
Yeah.
The people that were stealing the tax money, right?
Mm-hmm.
They weren't just Democrats.
No,
they were Republicans too. These motherfuckers. What I believe is this. They're like, hey, wait a minute, hold on. Y'all getting real close, Elon. You getting real close. You catching these people. You tracking this money. And I'm a Republican. Oh, shit. He's getting ready to get me. Fuck you, man. I'm not going to jail. I'm going to talk shit about you. I'm going to talk shit about Trump. Fuck his policies, because I'm not going to jail. Oh, all of y'all, they're like, all of y'all want to go against him? Y'all trying to stay out of jail too, y'all Democrats? I need some more Republicans. Come on, Brian. You were scheming some money from them. You better get on this bus. So that's all that they're doing. They're
right. I agree.
They're not fighting against his.
They're fighting to save themselves, is what you're saying.
That's what they're doing. That's all they're doing, because if he starts putting people in jail, I hope to God he just puts like 3 people in jail right now, today, tomorrow, sometime this month. Okay, we done got you. There's nothing else that you can say about it. You're going to jail until your court date, right? Plain and simple. Then everything will start coming to the top of the pot, because you'll see people like, no, freaking out.
Right.
I'm going overseas. they be gone.
And that's an interesting point you make, because if there was really like a grassroots effort to uproot all the problems and issues and money laundering and stuff that was going on, you would see everything come to the surface. But this is a very controlled dismantling of all of it. It's a controlled dismantling, because like, here's what I mean. Like, if it was a gang, let's say across the street, and SWAT is coming in to take over, they're not messing around. They're getting everybody. They're just coming in. They're not strategically going after this or that. They just all y'all got to go, and that's not what's happening. That's not what's happening. It's a selective dismantling. And when you say your boy, you got a point. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying, with that, maybe it has to be strategic in that way, so that because these people that are stealing the money got money. It's not hard for them to be like, oh, wait a minute, I'm flying the hell out of here. You ain't never gonna touch me again. And maybe their ideal is, no, we don't want you to fly. We just want to get you. We want to punish you and bring your ass here and put you in jail. We don't want you to take this money that you done stashed away and go live in a country outside of America, and to where you have amnesty, and we can't come grab you. You know what I mean? Maybe it's strategic like that.
Yeah, I think that's at
least for some people.
For sure. And absolutely right. And I think like you said, these people have money. Did you know why would they pass something like this? This article, new FAA rule allows private jet owners to hide travel information from public. This was just passed a few days ago. These are the people you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now they just pass a law. They don't even have to disclose where they're going on their private jets. Why?
Because
you and I would just, huh?
Diddy's already in jail. We got him, so now we can go ahead and free this up. So we can use this.
We can do exactly what we want to do, and we don't have to say anything, because it's those billionaires. Like, who else owns a private jet? Me and you were just talking about the other day how me and you need to get a real ID to travel. And now, but they're also making rules where people who own private jets don't have to disclose their location at the same time. That's weird.
Yeah.
That's weird. And then your boy Trump, like you mentioned earlier, that he put us into a trade war. That can destroy a country. But he purposely put us in a trade war.
Right.
Like no. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like
see, again, like what I was saying a long time ago. It's going to be rough in the beginning, because he put us in this trade war. We have to be producers. We have to be the ones to produce stuff. These other people don't want to fucking work. They don't want to work. They don't want to be producers. They want to sit there and be consumers. Let me go ahead and buy this. Let me buy that. Let me buy this. Let me have this. Let me have this. They don't want to put in the blood, sweat, and tears to produce something, because that's just how I feel. When COVID hit, you had a bunch of people sitting there just trying to grab money. What's that other thing that the business people was getting this fund for? And they after a while they start going to jail because they was misappropriating that money. The PPL or some trash like that.
Okay, I think that rings a bell. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I forgot what it was called, but that's what's coming to my head. It might not be that, but it was small business people was getting loans and just taking the money and keeping it for themselves. It's just situations like that is causing this drama.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's interesting time. Let me ask you this question: do you think people don't want to work? Because I hear this argument. Some people say people don't want to work, and then I also hear people just don't want to work for the low wages that are out there.
It's more so that.
Yeah, I think so. And then a lot of these jobs that have been cut the past few months, they aren't low paying jobs. They are not the low paying jobs.
No.
These government workers and all that who've been laid off, these are good paying jobs.
Well,
I would say middle to upper middle class salaries. I don't think there's anybody who works for the government who was making a salary that was below poverty level.
There are. There's like G4s and GS4s and GS5s, but those are entry level positions. Those are like for people who are entry level,
Yeah,
flat out.
entry level. I mean, they make more than minimum wage.
Yeah, a bit.
A bit more. Okay. Yeah. So a lot. So I think there's a lot of low paying jobs out there that people don't want to work, but the wages aren't. They keep talking about we got to create jobs and all this stuff, but the jobs that are being created aren't the ones that are. They're not putting people above the inflation rate or in a place where they're able to afford a decent living, I would say, or from what I can tell.
So yeah, I would have to say, I don't know. I would have to say I don't know. I mean, I do have a degree, and I'm not using it. Maybe
Well,
the
what
people.
was your degree in?
I got a bachelor's of science in business,
Okay.
so I'm not really using it because I just want to get it just to do something. But I feel that if people actually, including people like myself, who have those and have some kind of knowledge, I still got the books. I can refresh myself. It's not like I don't know how to do it. Um, could get together again. That is being productive. That's producing something. That's what I mean. We have to produce something. If a person is they went to school for chiropractic and they're not being a chiropractor, right? Because they got to get all these extra licenses or whatever. Get your license. Start your own business. Hey, dude, you need a chiropractor? I'll go dirt cheap for you. If they're doing this for $300 an hour, man, I'm just starting off. I'll do it $100 an hour. Just come on, please, and then make some kind of deals with that. $100 an hour, man. I'll give you 3 sessions, um, for, but you get sign up for 2 months at least. Tell your buddies. I'll hook them up and chop you down something. That's producing. You're producing the good. We are the goods. They already use us as batteries, right? They already use us as
More or less
labor.
to power the system. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
if we just use our own stuff for ourselves, that's what this podcast is.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah, for
we're
sure.
doing it for ourselves. We're using
For sure.
somebody else's link, somebody else's idea, and we're jumping on their idea so we can do something for ourselves.
Man, you make an interesting point though. Like with the skills. Let's say I was a chiropractor. Let's use PT because I think this is a better example. Because I've talked to so many of them. Like a PT, for example, you have someone come in, you have this skill. The only way you can become it is to get licensed through the system. And generally, you would go on to some type of practice which would accept insurance payments so that you could deliver your service and get paid a decent wage doing it and have enough clientele to actually survive. But there's so much red tape, so many things you're not allowed to do in this profession that you chose because the government has stepped in and pretty much made it where you have to be licensed and all this type of stuff to even practice something that you want to do. And in order to really do it the right way, you can't really be in that system. You have to almost move to a private pay practice, which is what a lot of PTs, a lot of doctors are moving to, that type of system in order to do it like they want with less government interference. But then you have this issue now where now you got to drum up your own business because you don't have the insurance companies referring you patients. So you got to basically freelance and offer your service at a price, which is nothing wrong with that at all. It's just it puts it in a situation then like with my business now everyone can exercise, everyone should exercise, and if you don't, then you're just being an idiot if you think you shouldn't exercise. But then it comes to affordability. So now you got, okay, well, the government, the insurance companies aren't referring me patients. I got to grow my business on my own. But that's the task that we're faced with as
Yeah,
individuals, like you say, to create things on our own, is to just go out and make it happen. And then it creates this other scenario, and this is how inflation and all that comes in, because now people who are in America largely don't value these types of services enough to put their money where their mouth is and just sign up and do it. And now inflation, groceries, everything else is creeping up in price, which makes these quote unquote not things that aren't deemed, what do you call it, high priority for a lot of people,
yeah,
even further on the back burner. So it makes it for someone like a chiropractor, doctor. So it's an interesting time, like, to be able to have to go out on your own and make a living, because that's what's required. I
yeah.
think, like you
See,
said.
and I think people don't need. I think people need to better their skills in bartering. And the
Sure.
only reason
Okay.
why I say only reason why I say that is because I think that, like, when I talk about bartering, I say, oh, food, sewing clothes, stuff like that, right? That's just what I know. There's other things, of course. There's a bunch of stuff that I have no clue over that could
Sure.
something that could be bartered. You know what I mean? For another for a service, that could actually help a different individual than myself. What if I don't know. I don't have to be creative in that fact, in that position. But when people are doing that, they could say, okay, hey man, I'm cracking your back, right? I'm doing your chiropractic work. I'm just gonna stick to that one. I'm doing that. I'm doing that. But you are you're a grant writer. Hey, I'll manipulate your spine and neck and stuff for a month. That should be like, that's $900, right? That's $900. I even do it 3 times this month, or whatever, however that thing goes. I'll do it 3 times this month for free. Write me a grant. Find a grant, or write me a grant so I can receive a grant. I'll hook you up. You know, do that. So now they got a grant from the government for some funds. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, you do this. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what other people need. I don't know what people need because I'm not in their shoes. But there is somebody out there that can provide that thing that they need. It may not be necessarily, hey, I can provide you money, but there's something else.
Let me ask you this question: like, as a small business owner, gym owner, right? I'm a personal trainer,
Yeah,
or I do fitness. So just we'll create this scenario. Like, I need marketing, I need video editing, I need maybe some bookkeeping, some financial management, someone to come in and make what am I trying to say? You know how, like, you have the package put together when you own a franchise, and these are the steps, like putting it together, manuals and procedures and all that thing, the things that it
yeah,
takes
yeah,
to,
yeah.
yeah, someone to come in and help with that. So you're suggesting that I could potentially barter with people who have those skills in order to get all those things up and running, and just do it that way. Now here's the issue as I see it, though, because I do a lot of this stuff, a lot of bartering to get some of the things we need. However, there's only so much time in the day, so I can only train so many people, right? Otherwise,
Right,
I'm just gonna be burnt out.
right,
And two, it doesn't directly put money in my pocket. So this
nope,
is the scenario. This is the scenario that the government has put in place, with the medium of money being the go between.
yeah,
Is that if we barter, being that I have bills that come constantly due every month, if I burn all my time bartering to get to these skills, now how do I then create more time to train more people where I'm actually making money to pay the actual bills while I'm bartering? Because
well,
you get what I'm
well,
saying?
yeah, no, I get what you're saying, and
Sure.
that's why the inflation been going up and up and up, because people have
Correct.
been finding ways to do it. Let me. I need money. let me go ahead
What
and
do you
do a
mean? That's why the inflation's
podcast.
going up.
Okay, that's why that's one of the main reasons why I believe all the costs are going up. They're stopping people from bartering because you can't really stop unless you have a money issue, that median, what you said. So when people started doing what I'm talking about doing, people start doing little side hustles, right? I'm going to do this side hustle here so I can do what I want to do over here, but I do need the money. So let me go ahead and do it like this. And then people started being successful at doing that. And they're like, oh, wait a minute, hold on. Our median is too low. Let's hike that shit up because now we going to make them start having to either hustle a little bit more, but there's no time. They're not going to have time. So
Yeah.
and we're going to bring that up. So now they don't have enough money at their regular job to even do their hustle as much as they need to do their hustle because they got to get overtime. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
I do understand what you're saying. I'm not saying that it's an easy thing. I'm
Sure.
most definitely not saying it's
Yeah.
easy, and I'm most definitely not saying I have the answer for that because you're living the real life that.
and the reason why I throw it out there like that is so, we're just talking about everything. Perhaps, this conversation could spark something like, oh, that I didn't think of that could make it work. Maybe, that's why I throw it out there. I didn't expect you to have the answer, but just to kind of for us to throw it out, like, well, what could be done in that situation? And I think one of the bigger things too, where they kind of got us by the balls, is when we went off extended families, because when there was extended families, shelter wasn't really an issue, and that's one of the main things we have: food, clothes, and shelter that you really need to survive. And when you remove the safety net of having mom, dad, grandma, uncle with a little communal house to go back to, that was a great fallback, or also a support system to help while you were bartering if money was an issue, because everyone can pool their resources together. And I look at my wife and my situation, it's just been me and her all of my son's life. Like, I haven't lived around family. I've never had the privilege of having grandma or a sister or anyone to take my son to and help out. So it creates this situation of, where's the security amongst the community for housing and then food? Because without those two things, kind of underpinning someone, how do you really make that all work? And I think that's why, these conversations that you and I have all the time with community and bartering and recognition of your own individual worth to the community is also importantly and so intertwined. You know what I'm saying? Like, they all go hand in hand.
Yes. Yes, it does.
Yeah, they all go hand in hand. And that's why I think if you look back historically, one of the first things that happened was the dismantling of the family. Because they knew if we do that one thing, all the other things kind of fall apart. And when I say family, I'm not just talking about my mom, dad, cousin. I'm talking about the people who are in your life that care about you like family.
Right.
Dismantling that. And you see so much of just, oh, well, you're black, we're definitely not family. Or you like Trump, so we definitely can't even like look out for each other. And all these different ways to divide when it's all up here, right? Like, it's just a way to see. Just go ahead.
Yeah, and the other way they do it is, oh man, you want the best school to go to is over here. It's not in your program. So like they'll push a lot of like say the best school is over here, but like in New York, the best school for doctors or in New York, but in Las Vegas, they're pushing people to be doctors. How are you gonna push people to be doctors when they're in high school, and you automatically taking them out of Las Vegas, taking them away from their family? You know, the best schools for this. So it should be something the best school for which, or not the best school, but what you should be pushing in that community is what's in that freaking state, what's in that community. But they're not doing that. Like even this, working a regular job. In order for me to be a security guard, right? To be a security guard, you can't have. And in my community, we have security. How come I can't do security for my community? Nah, you can't. You live too close. Yeah. Like, excuse me? I live too close. Yeah. We're gonna have to send you, if you're gonna work for this company, we gotta send you 5-10 miles north or south. You can't work security around your own community. Like, to me, that's almost smart, but that's fearful. If I'm an upstanding citizen in my community, everybody should trust me to do security. And if there's a problem with break-ins, if I get into the system and start doing security, now there's a problem and I'm here, it's him. Fire his ass. Plain and simple. You can't do security here. You done got 2 people robbed. That's what the fuck insurance is for, too.
Yeah.
Security companies have insurance. We got robbed under you. Okay, here, give me some of this money back. Plus, I'm paying for insurance, and we're paying for this security company. So I mean, it's just they everything is take people away from their homes. Everything is take people away from homes. You have to take your and separating the kids. You know, you can't have
like even colleges, right? Colleges just in general, like.
Yeah,
that's how we started the conversation with, my son. If he wants the opportunity to play Division II basketball or whatever, he's most likely moving away from home. And I look at him like, this dude just turned 18 2 weeks ago. He ain't equipped to do anything. He thinks he is, but nothing at all. So, and you strip those children away. And the point you were making earlier about, if the best schools for doctors are in New York and you live in Nevada, why not have a system that educates doctors to the same level in all states? Why not have a education system that
right.
educates everyone to the same level everywhere, so no one has to move all state? But it's part of a game. It's part of a game. Look, yeah.
No Child Left Behind. All that shit. Yeah.
It's part of a game where you I guess what I'm trying to say is you make something that is very detrimental to you, your family, and your lineage so attractive that you just choose it. So then you don't really even see that it was a game all along to really pull you away from that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hey, did you see that one thing?
Sure.
Well, it was I think it was Oprah Winfrey. And she was doing an interview with this this guy and this girl. And she asked him, she's like, you live with your mom and your dad? And yeah, she's trying to shame him. And the guy's just sitting there looking at her. And the lady goes, she looks at her husband and goes, go ahead. And he was like, well, how do you like basically, how do you not? You know what I mean? And they're like, they have what you just said, a support system. I got my wife, I got my mom, I got my dad, I got my whoever else lives in the house. They all live there together. That's the support system. You don't, like, basically we're saying you don't have a support system. You're all by yourself.
Yeah.
She's a billionaire, but still, you're by yourself. We have family everywhere. And just to see that thought process, or the what's the word? It's deeper than thought process.
Yeah, programming.
Yeah, that of being separated from your family as being a good thing,
right?
And it's really not. It's really not. Like I just think that we need a bigger house. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, and because I've always had the idea, like, you know how Will Smith has his house, right? Or not just, I'm just using Will Smith, but Will
Sure.
Smith has his house. Jaden and the other one, Willow, have their own wings. It's still one house. They have their
Yeah.
own wings. They can come and go when they want to. They can have their families and friends over when they want to, but the family is still intact. I think that we need to be more like that. Or like when I was growing up, my aunts and uncle, I had, well, mostly my aunts. I had a few uncles, but my aunts on my mom's side and grandmother, they all lived in one area. Now the houses were small. The houses were small and they were set up really funny looking, but they all lived there. You know what I mean? Everybody that was in these like 8 houses were all family members, you know? And then they would go to the park. Hey, I want to go down to the park. Nobody was worried about anybody when they went to the park. The lady at the end of the street right next to the park, she wasn't family, but she wasn't worried about us because she knew that we came from that family, you know? And she would say hi, whatever. Oh, you look thirsty. Go ahead, drink from the hose, you know, unless she, I don't think she put poison in the holes and was like, drink this, little kids.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but you know, it was like that. It was a good feeling to feel safe.
Feel
Everybody
safe
in
and
that
secure. Yeah.
community, yeah, everybody in that community had everybody's back, you know. And
Yeah, bro. I mean,
and
that's
then
in it. Go
go
for
ahead.
it.
No, you got it.
No, I was just gonna say it's so deep, bro. Because I mean, you can. I'm pretty sure I haven't looked at these stats, but I'm pretty sure if you track, the dismantling of the family back. I don't know. I think from what I understand, that push started majorly in the 60s, 70s when women started getting into the workforce and all of that.
Yeah,
But I'm sure you can track that as that increased crime, poverty, gangs, um, all of those things probably increased along with it because you rip that safety net from a child and they don't feel that security, and then there's no, it just leads to a life of, it could lead to a
right.
life of crime, a life of trying to survive because you don't have that safety net anymore. um
Which is a
and it just
lack of tools.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
A lot of lack of tools, education, you and I have talked about before, passing trades down to the children and skills.
right.
um Even I look at my life, and think about, I didn't grow up without a father per se. Not I didn't have my real father in the house, but I had my stepfather, and he raised me, myself, my sister, my brother, and from the time I was about 5 or 6 or so. So shout out to him for stepping in and raising us. But the point I was going to make is he didn't have a father either, so he didn't get taught skills like how to, fix a house, or all those different things that you can learn. And then so now he's in the workforce just trying to make a living, and I'm working there growing up as a young man not getting these skills either because there's no other male figures around doing this type of thing. And it
Right.
just kind of go on and go on and so forth. And I look at my son, I go to the military and then lived in Vegas. And then when I moved to Oregon, I didn't realize how much I didn't know about the wilderness and growing and farming and that type of stuff until I moved in this environment. And I didn't have those skills to pass on to him either because it wasn't passed on to me. So you create generations and generations of people without skills
Skills.
like that. I mean, I have skills like I can be a personal trainer, but I can't really pass that on to help my son manage his household, or it's just not
Right.
that kind of
Right.
it's not that kind of skill. You
Right.
get my point. So you just kind of raise. So I guess intellectual thought processes becomes the more valuable rather than tangible things that really can help build and grow and create a community.
Yeah, on one of those topics when you was talking about the crime rate going up and all this other stuff, I was thinking too the other day. I was like, okay, I remember I don't blame my mom and my aunts anymore for beating me because they were closer to slavery, right? So the way to discipline people during that time was beat them. You know, hey, let's beat the hell out of him. I get you. I bet you he won't run again. or whatever the hell whatever they did to get punished.
Yeah.
It was the beating, and that's the same thing that a lot of people use because it freaking works, right? So then when they start taking that away, the beating, what skill, what skill do we have to discipline now? We was taught, right? We was taught to beat the children so that they can be right. Now if I hit my child, I child support come take them. So what skill do we got? So they took one skill away and didn't replace it with another skill, right?
Mm.
So, and I was
Yeah.
talking to somebody and they was like, you know what? You have to be able to beat your children. It says it in the Bible, spare the rod, spoil the child. And I was like, do you think that kings and queens actually beat their children? I'm just saying. I was
I
like,
don't think they do. Do
I
you?
don't think I don't think they did. I
Yeah.
think they had other things that were that was used to discipline, but we don't have that. We didn't have that. You know what I mean? Because the kings and queens
Mm.
had other people. Hey, you're gonna go out there and joust. You're gonna go out there and you're gonna, hey little girl, stand up straight. This is you stand up and put that book on your head. You're gonna have to go through these trainings in order to be your best, and you're not going to level up from these trainings until you perfect them. We don't have that. We got
Right.
No Child Left Behind. We don't care if you know how to read, just keep going.
And
You know what I mean?
yeah, bro. And that's so huge that you mentioned the Kings, because not only did they probably don't beat their children, they instill such a level of self-worth into their children, so
Yeah,
that when they grow up, they don't look for outside things like gangs or Balenciaga or whatever to gain their value and self-worth. They've already instilled it with them through these disciplines that you talk about.
yeah,
So when they grow up, now they can just live from a place of value from themselves, which creates value in the world around them.
exactly.
And
then
then when you
go
don't
ahead,
grow in
go
that
ahead.
environment, all you get is pushed along. We don't care if you read. Then you're looking for, like, all right, well, where is my value then? I guess it's in chasing this girl, or I guess it's in, anything other than self.
Right.
And that I think that's a huge thing that also these things have done to society at large.
And that's what I think stops people from being entrepreneurs too,
Not
because
having the
they have to
self-worth and value in themselves to go do it.
and yeah, they don't have this mental strength, the mental ability, the ability to weave through their own minds to
Yeah.
be able to do that. Now you are an entrepreneur. You're doing that. You have connected with people and you are doing that. I will say for me, sometimes I get caught in the weeds. You actually have a weed whacker with you. You know what I'm saying? I haven't had that skill. I mean, just to be real, I haven't had that skill to sit there and say, okay, I'm gonna fight for myself in this way. Now, in the beginning of my life, I really believe I had that skill before I went to the Marine Corps, right? I had that skill to be able to say, okay, I'm a loner, because I was a loner. And I was like, I got to do all this shit by myself because I got to fight my neighbors. I got to go
Yeah.
out here and fight my neighbors. I got a couple. I got a couple homies that I can have my friends. So I did have some brothers at the same time, which was pretty cool. I like that. I had my brothers, but then I went from there to the Marine Corps. Marine Corps, you don't really have to have that much skills. You can just, I mean, like they give
Especially
you what,
as an enlisted person, yeah, for sure.
right? They give you what you need. This is what you need to do here. Do this, do this, do this, do this. Go to sleep. you know, don't worry. Don't worry about clothes because we're giving you clothes and we're giving you food and we're giving you
Yeah.
a place to sleep. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
So it's the only thing you're relying on your inside self is to deal with the people that are around you that are on the same program that you are on.
Yeah.
So it's super easy. Yeah. And to let me compete against you guys doing the same exact thing that you're doing. and everybody is doing the same exact thing wherever you look at work. You know what I mean? Like some people don't want to be there. You have those, and you
Sure.
have those people doing drugs or whatever. But okay, that's easy to cut out because I want to stay in here. I don't want to get in trouble. You know, so it's you do have that skill. I relied on it a lot. I relied on the Marine Corps a lot, and then I came out,
Sure.
and I'm still relying on it because I'm 100% disabled. You see what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I look at the military is great because it does remove those things that we talked about earlier, those immediate concerns of shelter and food and clothing. It takes care of all those three. So in a sense, if you buy in fully, you don't really have to worry about those things. They got you. And it also keeps you in a level, like you say, if you don't grow out of it, of not maturing in those areas for a while. Like, eventually, if you stay in the Marine Corps, you do 15, 20 years, you eventually become a man, and, maybe you grow a family and you learn those responsibilities. But initially, especially for the enlisted, it keeps you in this state of immaturity for several years after high school, which we could see at the barracks, the behavior at the barracks, which is
Oh my God, yes.
wild. Like bunch of high school kids, basically.
Yeah.
It didn't matter if they were private first class or staff sergeants sometimes, all the way up. Yeah, sergeants, still just kids. But I think what helped me grow up in that sense, I got married really young for one. And yeah, I don't know. I just learned it. I don't know. I don't even know where I was going with that, but
well, no, I can see like you had a different vision. It's like, okay, you got all this extra help, all this stuff, but now you got somebody else who's not in there that's thinking a different way. So you have to think a different way. It's like I never wanted to become an entrepreneur, but then when I got married to Vanessa, okay, now I have to have an entrepreneurial spirit. Okay, now I got to think about doing this Amway stuff. So, because she's thinking about more money, and we didn't make that much money. I was comfortable about. I was comfortable that way, but it was like now I got to think about making more money. Okay, now let me venture over here into this new train of thought. You know what I mean? And I do feel now that if we are not sparked, if we're not sparked in a different way of thinking, or have somebody to teach us in a different way of thinking, we won't ever think that. We won't be able to grow in a full capacity. Like just like if you never see opulence, if you never see anything that's like that, you won't have a desire to get there. So if nobody can spark your idea to be an entrepreneur, then you probably
right.
won't ever do it.
For sure. And I think that's an excellent point you make, because let's look at these people who are, I mean, you hear rappers all the time. Who's it? Let me think. Oh, I think it was Dead Prez who had a verse that said something like, just because he dropped out of high school didn't mean he couldn't be a doctor or a dentist. There's truly smart, brilliant people who are caught up in the hood and violence and ghetto lifestyle, or whatever you want to call it, who are brilliant enough to be doctors and lawyers. They just didn't have the opportunity or the exposure to realize they could be more, or have the self-value instilled in them early enough where they could see beyond their situation.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know personal training was a thing until someone said, "Hey, do you want to be one?" And that's an example right there of like I didn't even know that was a possibility. And dude was like, "Hey, you want to be a trainer?" Like, what is that? It's like,
exactly.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, you just help people work out. Like, shit, I like working out. Yeah, I could do that, But that thought changed my life. It changed the course of my life. Literally. And it was just one person saying, "Do you want to be this?" And I said, "Oh, I could be that." Just an idea.
Yeah, and
I think we need to go ahead. No, I just think we, just being able to, I don't know, have these conversations like that and just talk about, the possibilities for everyone is important
Right. And
to change our situation. Go ahead.
there's people that need to speak out there, that need to be out there to speak, or that we need to be able to grab hold to. Now, mind you, this is good. What we're doing is good. The internet is good in that regard, because you can sit, YouTube is good. You can just jump on there like, oh, wait a minute, this just popped up. What is he doing? He's building this. Okay, that's the way to do it. Oh, what's up? This popped up. That's a millionaire? What is this millionaire doing? Why does he have a cat, a lion in his house? It's like, okay, that's stupid. Whatever. But it's like, if a person, we have the chance to dig deeper into why this dude has a lion in his house. Okay, he has a lion in the house. What does it take to have a lion in your house? Okay, you can look into the laws of it. You can look into how much money it will cost to do that. Once you look into how much money it costs, it opens you up to what kind of job you would need. And then
Right.
you're like, I don't have that skill to get that job, but what else can I do to get money? What else can I do to have this house? Where's the, it opens us up. But a lot of us
Closed off.
I'm going to include myself to certain things, because
Sure.
I'm just like, there's certain lifestyles, there's certain areas of the world, that it's like I'm ignorant to, because I haven't been there and I haven't seen all the truths about it,
Sure.
and it's like, okay, I like Greenland and Iceland, you know what I mean? Because I'm ignorant about it, I didn't know that Iceland or was it Greenland? One of the places, whatever Donald Trump is trying to take over.
Oh, Greenland.
Is a place that he actually has the ability anybody has the ability to take over, because it's not a sovereign state, but because I'm ignorant to the conqueror's the conqueror's manual, you know what I mean? I can see that as everything is wrong. You can't be coming over there and take this over. But a lot of people don't realize, when they are against that America is still conquerors. We just do it in different ways. Every other countries are still conquerors. They just do. There's not always war with killing that it is done. Sometimes it's strategic, like, hey, we discovered this. Here's a piece of paper that says it's ours.
Right. Hey, bro. And that is sometimes worse.
Yeah.
Because they put those contracts in place for hundreds of years. And
and
we don't
know how to fight against them. Like, oh shit, they got a piece of paper with words on it. I don't know what those words are, but I guess we got to follow them.
Yeah. And then you put up laws and systems around to protect those papers.
Yeah.
And you better have your papers too. If you're gonna try to beat our papers, get your papers in order.
Right.
And we got way more of them.
And we got way
more about them
to protect it. We got way more ways to protect it. You gonna try and hit your papers, we're gonna shoot you. Just plain and simple. We ain't even gonna fuck with you. You getting too close.
You got a little too smart. Let's just get them up out of here. Yeah. That's that's what they call checkmate, huh?
There it is.
Yeah, bro.
We got all pieces. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's a wild game, man. A wild game.
Man. You know, a topic that I realized we don't talk about.
Yeah, hit me. Often. Let's talk about it.
I was thinking about, we can't really talk about it because we don't know nothing about it.
What? Hold on, bro. This is kind of riddle at this. You're chopping riddles.
I'm talking about the dating scene now, man.
Oh, hell no. We can't talk about that. Like, next subject, please. No, just What you
You
got
know,
about the dating scene, dude?
I know nothing about it. I don't know anything about it. That's what I'm saying.
So
I was just
why
thinking
you bring
about
it
the
up?
things
Like
you
what?
made.
Like what?
I
You've been
brought it
watching?
up. Go ahead.
You've been watching some TV shows on dating? What, the dating shows?
No. I was just thinking about things that we really don't have the current information on.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because okay, when I think about making love, right? I'm
Okay.
like, okay, man, got to throw some Marvin Gaye on, some Marvin Gaye, Luther Vandross, a little Anita, just to make the part to set this party off right. You know what I mean? so, so some R. Kelly, some whatever,
Yeah.
right? Some New Edition, but so, but they don't have that
Definitely set the
now.
party off right. Yeah.
Right, so they don't have
Okay.
that now. What are they bringing off? Little Nas X. I don't
Drake, I
see.
guess.
Yeah. So what are they doing to make love? And is they're making love the same as the way we made love back then? Are they really sitting there touching and getting it? Because the only thing I can see is they listen to hardcore rap music.
What are your son? What's your son listen to? Is he listening to rap?
Taylor Swift.
Okay, then. All right. Well, okay.
No,
I don't
he
even know.
listen-
Like, oh, all right. I'm gonna just leave that. I'm gonna leave it.
No,
Yeah.
but it's mostly from what I hear, it was like this dude named NF and what's his name, Kanye and
Okay. Yeah,
no, there
Jared.
are
Yeah.
huh?
I was gonna say
Imagine
Jared's into like.
Dragons and stuff like that.
Okay. So some alternative rock stuff like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
Jared's into like, I think he just got into like some R&B. I can't remember who, but he was into Lil Uzi a lot. Glock 40, like his latest rapper.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but he said they don't listen to the words. They don't
No,
listen to the words. Yeah, we were over this
but they
dude.
get it subconsciously.
Yeah, subconscious they're getting it, but I was over a dude's house. I don't know if I told you the story, but we were him. He used to write raps. He had an album back. He's 20 in his 20s. He's about my age, mid 40s now. I used to do the same when I was 19, 20, write some songs. Thought I was going to have a rap career or whatever. And we were over at his house 2 weeks ago with my son and his two sons. My son's 18 now. His sons are both 16. And he was in the room asking them, hey guys, let me teach you guys how to freestyle. Like, don't you guys want to learn how to freestyle? You want to rap? They're like, hell no, we don't want to learn how to rap. And he was just shocked. Like, what do you mean you don't want to learn how to rap? Like, this is, culture. This is what you got. And they were like, nah, we're not into that. We just listen to the beats. And it made me think, like, when I used to listen to hip hop, or our generation, we were listening to it mostly for the work. I mean, we listened to some beats, but Tupac, Nas, we're trying to listen to the flow and the style because we could relate to it in some way. And it's just different, I think. I don't know if maybe it's different from some areas, but I live in Oregon too, so I mean they're not really trying to live that lifestyle in Oregon, but I think it's just a different kind of connection to the music.
That's what it is. It's a different connection, so they don't need the really listen to. I think the words have gotten so trifling that it's like the beat is okay, so we'll listen to the beat. You know what I mean? Because I don't see it. I don't like. I listen to a couple female rappers, and I'm like, I can't listen to this at all.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if they're the new rappers now, the new female rappers, but all of them are sluts. And I'm like, I don't want to listen to this music. What happened to Anita Baker? What happened to like Beyonce? I don't even listen to Beyonce anymore. I never really listened to her. I listened to them when they was Destiny's Child, But like all those real the softness of a woman is gone. And at least for what I hear, I don't hear the softness of a woman. I mean, we had hardcore women's needed, I was gonna say Anita Baker, but Etta James and all these other the hardcore type singers and stuff. But even Patti LaBelle had some rough songs. You know what I mean? To show that she's still tough. You know, but I don't hear any soft songs from women now. I don't hear any compassionate songs from men now. You know, I mean, now, mind you, I like Boys to Men, but I didn't like. I didn't like all their whiny songs because they was always getting cheated on in their songs and asking the woman to come back to them. You know what I'm saying? I didn't like that part, but the music was good. You know.
No, I can feel you on that. I can feel you on that. I mean,
but
Boys
what
Band,
they
yeah, they
have
had
now,
End of the Road. Yeah, come back. Yeah, okay, I got you.
you know,
You know, I don't
Ooh,
know,
I
like
was good, but
like in our day, right? In our day, there was what, probably 30 to 60 channels on TV,
yeah,
and you knew when all the new songs and the new videos was coming out. I don't know when they come out. Like, where do you even find like the newest? Is it on YouTube? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like
Spotify.
when a new album drops, you knew Pac had a new album out.
Well, right,
You
but
know,
no,
you
no,
knew.
no. I know that. I know Thaddeus knows when like albums that of his favorite people are gonna come out.
Okay, so we
He
just out
knows
of the
that.
loop, Ali.
Yeah, man, we old, we ancient, we
God dang.
relics.
Yeah, we relics. We don't even know when the new music come out. That's
We don't even know if there's new music. We hear some stuff. I don't know what it is. This ain't music. This is trash. How you gonna make love to a girl that
yeah.
all that noise?
Maybe we the problem, bro.
Yeah, we
Maybe
might be. But
we just outdated, man. Because now that I
yeah,
think about it, it's damn sure like our parents, like sound like our parents when the new music coming out. We don't even
yeah,
recognize it as music anymore. We just think it's
yeah.
something.
How do you chill? Listen to all this hardcore stuff. You can't just chill.
There's got to be some. What's this guy? What's his name? Rob.
Rob Bass.
There you go. There you go. No, nah. Is it Rod White? Rod
I
White?
don't know.
I don't think it's Rod. It's Nah, hell no. That's Rod Stewart. I was trying to find it.
That ain't him.
Rod Wave. I think it's Rob Wave. You heard of this guy?
No. Rob Wave.
Yeah. He's a American rapper and singer. He's doing like some R&B stuff. I was listening to Jared with him, but he's got a lot of sad songs, like super sad. Like I think I might cry.
Suicide song.
I think I might. Yeah, like that. Like I think I might cry after the song, or like for real. Like
Now we had something like that. We had some, maybe not as tough as what
wow,
you're
like this.
saying,
Yeah.
but we had some like what this. You remember this song's dedicated to my homies, Gangsta Lean.
Gangsta.
Gangsta Lean was sad.
Gangsta. Yeah, that was a set. This is
It was
home,
yeah.
man. Yeah. See you when I get there, man.
Yeah,
I
and then
remember. Crossroads. That was.
Yep. Crossroads. But that was
They would slow it down on the hip hop. All right, they would slow it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Dang,
End
bro.
of the Road.
You talking about Boys to Men?
Yeah. End of the Road.
Yeah, that's one of those crying songs. Yeah.
Yeah, when was and then those songs that came out when Aaliyah died. There was a lot of songs came out when Aaliyah died.
I mean, that was around like what 2001 ish. I think it was 2001. I think I was out to see when she died, bro.
I thought Aaliyah died when we was before I went to the Marine Corps. No.
Yeah, 2001 because I was out to sea because I remember talking about it on the ship. That's the only way I remember.
Okay.
Being on the Boxer at that time, but we talk about 2001. Yeah, bro. So I don't know. You started with dating and making love, and went down memory lane on the songs. I mean, sheesh. Dating, man. You talk to your son about dating. He's got a girl now. I saw like his old school best friend, something like that. That's cool.
Yeah, from middle school. They're together. So he's not dating. He's locked down.
Good for him.
Yeah, he locked. But you know the good part about them being locked, got his girlfriend is pretty awesome, and he knows she's a girl.
Oh yeah, because that's
Yeah.
important these days, bro. You never know.
Hey,
You gotta check that history.
right? Do you know that I haven't heard anything about the transgenders lately since Trump has been in office? They're not fighting back. To that I hear.
Let me
I'm not saying they're not.
let me
But I
ask you
haven't
this,
heard
bro.
of
How
it.
much of a fight was it really by the movement, or was it the media acting like it was a bigger fight than it was?
Exactly what you just said, the last one.
Yeah, because
Exactly what you
now the
said.
media is not, they're acting like they're not talking about it at all. Like, was it really that big of a fight to begin with? Were they really pushing that hard for reals?
Oh, yes.
They were.
Yes. Yes,
Okay,
they were pushing that
but
hard.
what spawned it? Like, was it a chicken or the egg? Like, did the media start doing it, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, we got to really get involved and make this movement big," or were
Oh,
they sitting up in a room and like, you know what, guys, it's time for us now to really push our agenda out there, and then they went to the media.
I mm, okay. So I don't know whether to tell you the history of it or
Yeah.
do I just go with what Dave Chappelle said?
Oh hell no! Don't do that.
Well, because I think Dave Chappelle said it right. But okay,
Yeah.
so remember back in when we was in high school, it was gay bashing. So that's in the media. The gay
Mm-hmm.
bashing, you weren't allowed to gay bash. I mean, like there was a lot of the people beating up homosexuals. So that did go to the news. Then they start protecting them. And you can't gay bash no more. Now it's a criminal offense. So so obviously before the gay bashing, you was allowed to beat them up, but now you're not allowed to beat them up. So then we go to the military. Then they pull off "Don't Ask, Don't Tell." Right? I forgot who did that. Bush
I think that
or,
was it.
or
Had to be.
Clinton.
Might have been Clinton. Might have been Clinton because it was
Somebody pulled
already
off.
in when I was in, and I think Bush was in office when I went in. But that was a policy that we learned right away, so it was already in place.
What? Don't ask, don't tell.
I think so.
Yeah, no.
Let me.
Okay, so don't ask, don't tell. I think so. It was Bush that pulled it off, and then President Obama said he dealt with the pushing the gay marriages.
1993, it went in place.
Don't ask, don't. No, when did it come off from the
Oh,
military?
to 2011. So 94 to 2011.
Oh no, it came off before then because I was in when they started. It was 2004 where they started holding hands
It said
in
the
the Marine Corps.
policy on military service of homosexual people instituted during Clinton administration was issued on Department of Defense directive in 1993, December 21st, and was in effect from February 28, 1994 until September 20th, 2011.
You know
This
what?
policy,
And I'm going go ahead.
no, that was it, just a year.
But okay, but I do know that before I got out 2004, that it was either earlier that year or right at the end of 2003 when they was like, you're gonna see Marines walking around base holding hands, and you better not say nothing about it.
Yep.
You can't say nothing about it. And then whenever Obama jumped in with his homosexual self, excuse me, I didn't say that. Whenever he jumped in and started pushing homosexuality to African nations, remember that? He was going over to Ghana and saying, well, why don't you allow this? And they're like, it's not even a conversation. Why are you talking to us about this? We don't care about that. It's not important enough, So it has been all into that idea, not transgender, but that idea of homosexuality has been in the media and been pushed by the media for a long time. And then, like what Dave Chappelle said, is you got all these people, the gays and the queers, all in the bisexuals or whatever, all in the same car, and then the transgenders jumped in, trying to be part of the team. So I think what you saying is it was the media thing. So maybe it wasn't a big fight. They was trying to jump on the people who was already having a good fight.
Yeah. And I think it's like that with most things, right? Like,
that was
like
that was a big long explanation.
No, it's all good. like a lot of these things don't even have to, like, aren't even issue. Excuse me. Issues that should rise to the level of the president talking about it.
Right.
And when it does, like, you have to like really look at like, okay, why in the hell would the executive branch of the U.S. government, whose role should be protect, serve, uphold the Constitution and all that, be pushing so many agendas like this? That just is weird to me.
It made sense. It made sense to me. Do you know why? Because
Why?
there was attacking masculinity.
There was a lack of it?
No, they were attacking.
Oh, attacking it. Okay.
Yeah, we want to have more control, and we can't have control with strong men. And I'm not saying homosexuals ain't strong. I'm not saying that because they can pick up a lot of weight. I'm just stop being mean, dude. You stop being mean.
You're out of control, bro. You're out of control. Like, what are you drinking over there? Was that water? I don't know. Yes, hold your cup up, Ali. Hold your cup up, bro. All right.
Kirkland, hey, sponsored by Kirkland. No, but I'm just saying. I think they're strong, but I think that
I ain't gonna lie. The strongest guy in my elementary class was gay. I ain't gonna lie. I remember we wanted his ass on our team every year in field day for tug of war. For tug of war. Oh, shut up!
I'm just saying. You want his ass?
I kind of walked. I kind of walked right into that one. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, that's nasty.
Hey,
you take a step back.
All right, I'm gonna walk. I don't even know if I can walk it back now. But you know what I mean, bro. Like, he was just strong, bro. We needed him on the tug of war squad. Every year his team was winning.
I didn't even know. See, I didn't even know there were gays when I was in elementary. I didn't know.
You could tell. Sometimes you could just tell, man. Sometimes you could just tell.
No, I didn't. Maybe if I look back, I would be able to tell, but I didn't even know that was a thing.
Okay, well, I mean,
you know what I mean?
I guess I don't know. Some of us, I don't know what to tell you about that. I don't know, but yeah, they strong, like you say, attack on masculinity, while also, I guess misdefining it as well, like misdefining what it means to be masculine.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So, yeah, it wasn't an attack in a lot of ways. Yeah, I got you.
A major control issue. You know, let's go ahead and bust them down. Let's destroy our military and stuff like this, so that they can do whatever agenda it is that they're doing, so we don't fight back.
And yeah, and for what though? Like, and here's my so we see all these things shaping up, like getting rid of masculinity. What are the things we talk about? The economics, we see how that's gone. The dismantling of the family, we see how that's gone. The monopolization of education and how to actually even get into business, how you have to have the licenses. All those things coming together to make the people more docile for what end game?
Total and utter control over everything. We're maybe the people who are in control, like they said, there's nothing under the sun that hasn't been done before. We're probably at the end of it. They want total control and dominance, and maybe those creatures. I'm just saying the creature mind, the creature whatever that are doing this is just in it for the control, the domination.
So so it's all about just gaining total control over every aspect of the lives of those in the realm, so to speak. that
Yep.
are here. Yeah.
Yeah, because when you look at it, they say that the world, our world, is overpopulated, but we see all kinds of land. We're so packed
Everywhere.
in dense. Yeah, we're so packed in dense with these people, in these areas, and the water. They complain about the water, but if they let the water flow the way it's supposed to, instead of putting up all these dams and controlling which way it flows, and then putting all these what's that, water treatment facilities next to the fresh water, and all these what's that, the waste facilities next
Waste
to
treatment.
our water. And I'm talking
Yeah.
about even for like the cows and the chickens, the farms. They all, instead of using all their waste, what are they doing with it? They putting it in the freaking water. So all of that sludge and all that other stuff. It's all about control. We have enough land for billions of people, not just 6, not just 7.
Billions.
We have
Yeah.
we have enough land for like probably 700 billion, not 700 billion, but
A lot more than
billions
what
of
we got,
people.
for sure. Yeah, millions,
You know,
billions,
yeah,
for sure. Yeah. Um and I think too, I think we talk about all the time, just the perception of it being scarcity at all is a huge part of control. Like you said, there's enough land, there's enough water. I mean, hell, I don't know. Did you ever go on a ship? Did you ever go on a ship?
yeah. I
Obviously,
did.
okay.
I did.
You did Westpac or Eastpac or whatever. People look. So you could look no further than a nuclear ship and see that power can be generated for a long time. Like a submarine can stay on the water and survive for months, generating power, creating fresh
Oxygen.
water to drink, creating oxygen. Like, hell, you're in water. Like, there's water everywhere. Literally, you
Yeah.
can pull water out of the air.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even scarcity is fake, and it's just a matter of, can we get the skills? Can we acquire the skills to utilize what's all around us
Can
to
we
the best of
focus
our
on
abilities?
abundance? Yeah.
Yeah.
Focus
Yeah,
on
man.
abundance.
Get that abundance mindset, and pass it on to our children, right? To further it along. That's the game.
Right. What you
That's the
said,
game.
self-reliance. Not, you didn't say self-reliance. That's what I just thought. You said something out about the thinking about having everything inside of us. You said it in the beginning. I
Oh,
forgot what it was.
self-worth, self-value, self-worth.
That's it. Self-value and self-worth. Having that and a thought of abundance. If
Yep.
you can have an abundance of self-worth and self-reliance, keep abundance in there, not lack of. Keep abundance in there. Oh yeah, I think we can go super far.
Absolutely,
Because
bro.
there is abundance. Instead of focusing on that, what we don't have, focus on what we do have and make more of it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. I think we can end it there, bro. Another great talk as
All
usual.
right.
Man, A to Z. We get ready to get out of here. We'll be back again next Sunday at 9:00. Have an awesome week. And
all right.
we out, Ali.
You have a good one.
You too, brother.